Chapter 22. As the car edged into Cambridge, traffic was always heavy in Boston. Rena noticed a thinning of the conversation up front. Tyler had drawn inward, as if the mere presence of the university had sucked the life from him. It was all the more puzzling because Harvard was the only college that Adams had ever known. Perhaps the institution was the embodiment of his father's authority. Odd because Jack McAdams had gone to Duxbury, one of the 5 colleges of upstate. Apparently, Peter noticed Tyler's silence as well. You look thrilled to be back, he said. Over the moon, McAdams said. Rena said, Harvard is one of the finest universities in the world. You should feel privileged to be part of that. Everyone here feels privileged, and not in a good way, McAdams said. Go to graduation, Rena. Hear the valedictorians. Since we're so brilliant and privileged and special, it's now our responsibility to shoulder the burden of leadership and guide the planet to a better place. They'd be poor to realize that they restated TR's white man's burden. Somebody's not happy about upcoming finals, Decker said. I'm right here, old man. No need to talk in third person. And I still have over a week to study. FYI. Rena said, I know the guys at the station house kid you, but they're all trade places with you, even with you given a chance. Oh, come on, Rena, Decker said. Seriously? Why on earth would any of us trade a life of paramilitary bureaucracy and endless paperwork for the rarefied gift of brilliance and opportunity? McAdams said, Privilege is not what it's cracked up to be. Decker said, Neither is the noble working man. Bruce Springsteen. Idealized these Idealized things seldom are. There's no harm in getting a law degree, Tyler. You can even do some good with it. Even I learned a great deal by going to law school. You can stop right there, old man. You're sounding like my dad. McAdams paused, although if you were my dad, you'd be screaming instead of speaking. My life is fine. I'm just bitching right now because I'd rather be working on Katrina's Belfort's case. I can study at your place. I don't see why I can't stick around to see it through. Because it could take a lot of time and you're distracted at our house. I'll be even more distracted wondering what's going on. I know you think it's debatable, but I am a grown man. Honestly, Tyler, I don't want this case screwing up your schooling. No answer. The car turned quiet. Rena looked out the window. Near the university, Cambridge was a mixture of quaint, clapboard bungalows, small, colourful Victorian houses, and soulless, cheap apartment buildings that housed students as well as local residents. The streets held the typical college stores and clothing outlets, along with lots of fast food in lots of ethnic varieties. The co-op was the official Harvard bookstore that featured almost as many insignia items as it featured textbooks and school supplies. There were some good restaurants and half-dozen places to stay for parents visiting overnight as well as guests of the university. The inn at Harvard sat on the edge of campus, fashioned in brick with evenly spaced windows, a semicircular roof line, and a red brick pathway that led up to the door, a modern take on a federal style with a hint of Amsterdam thrown into the mix. The town was a mishmash, but it worked nicely. The campus was also a combination of old and new architecture. The buildings interspersed amongst wild lawns currently are covered in snowdrifts. Since it wasn't raining or snowing, students were everywhere, huddled in their parkas, trudging from place to place with heavy boots on their feet. Parking was always a problem, but Peter lucked out, snagging a space after our car pulled out. McAdams said, I'm leaving my stuff in the trunk of your car, Peter. I don't want to shovel it with me. Where do you live? Are you on campus? No, I'm in an apartment that reeks of eye-watering kimchi because my neighbours are Korean. Nice people, but gets tired of the smell. It wafts through the rather thin walls and settles into my clothing. At least you won't be attacked by a vampire. Nonsense, McAdams slammed the door shut. This place is filled with bloodsuckers, and garlic hasn't stopped any of them. There was a short walk to the math building. Professor Mordecai Gold had a spacious wood-panelled corner office, the walls covered with degree awards and certificates. The bookshelves were overflowing with reference material. The floors were covered with authentic Persian carpets. The place was big enough for a sofa and a few chairs as well as Dr. Gold's enormous desk he had prepared for their arrival with coffee and cookies. They're kosher, he told Rena. Sit. How's the family? Rena asked. Great, it's nice to see everyone again. Certainly the circumstances are better. Well, maybe not for you. I heard about Professor Belfort's demise. That's just terrible. Can I ask what happened? Single gunshot wound to the head. God, that's terrible. Was she depressed or should I not be asking questions? It's fine. Decca sat down on one end of the sofa. McAdam sat on the other end, and Rena was in the middle. We haven't received the coroner's report, but we're treating it as a suspicious death. Murder? Yes, but that's not official. Oh my goodness, that makes it even worse. Gold turned to Rena. At least you're doing okay, right? No overt interference from our friends overseas, if that's what you're asking, Rena told him. We do find a hidden electronic bug from time to time. I don't mind when they're in the kitchen or living room. It feels a little weird when we find one in the bedroom. How do they get into place? How do they get in to place them with the alarm on? The spooks have their ways, Gold told her. Don't worry, eventually they give up. They should, Rena said. We're just not that interesting. Gold smiled. Coffee, tea, hot water? I'm taking some tea myself. What do you have? Rena sorted through the tea bags and pulled out mint flavour and gave it to him. I can fix it. I'll do it. You're in my house. How are you, Tyler? How's law school? Isn't it finals times? It is. I'm studying at the Decker's house. It's quieter and the food is better. But then someone decided to kick me out. He's getting overly involved in police matter when he should be studying, Decker said. Not overly involved, just involved. Gold poured Rena tea. What can I pour for you two gentlemen? I'm fine, Decker said. Tyler? I'm okay. I know you're a busy man, Professor. McAdams opened a briefcase. This is regarding that case I should have been involved with. Belford? Yes. McAdams took out a set of papers. We loaded these off her computer. If you wouldn't mind, could you take a look and tell us what you think? Gold took the pages and flipped through them. What am I looking for? We're just interested in what you have to tell us about them, Decker said. They're Fourier transforms. Without knowing the context, I can't tell you what she was analyzing. You know what Fourier transforms are? Changing a function of time to a function of frequency, McAdams said. Could she have been using the maths to track the momentum of the stock market as a stochastic oscillator? Sure. It also could be 1,000 other reasons. He continued to flip through the pages. It's certainly nothing earth-shattering. No new ideas? None at all. I mean, she could have been using these particular formulas in a novel way, but the analysis is basic upper division maths, so it's nothing worth murdering over, Decker said. The math isn't. God, no. Gold handed the papers back to McAdams. Do you know if she was tracking the market? According to a student, she was consulting to several high-worth money managers using a unique algorithm, so that would seem likely. So there you go, Gold said. But the math isn't a big deal. Put it this way, Gold chuckled. She isn't going to win the Fields Medal. Thanks, McAdams said. These pages here were given to our math student's brother for safekeeping later. That student committed suicide. Gold took the papers. Yes, I heard something about that as well. What a terrible tragedy. What was his name? Elijah Wolf. Oh dear. Gold shook his head. I remember that name. He applied here and was accepted. We offered him a full scholarship, but he turned it down. His family wanted to keep him closer to home. He decided on New Loft. It's certainly a fine college. He committed suicide? What happened, if I can ask? We don't know, Morty, Decker said. By all accounts, he was a quiet, well-mannered kid who was obsessed with maths. His friends didn't see any telltale signs, but I don't think most of them were close friends, nor were they clued in to his emotional ups and downs. No note was left. The talk screen was negative. Who knows what he was thinking? And you're sure it's suicide? This is the coroner's ruling. In light of Belford's death, we might have another look at the case. Gold flipped through the Eli's pages. This is Fourier's analysis. That's a cousin to Fourier transforms, but the uses are different. These pages seem to be dealing with analysis of complex waves and breaking them down into smaller, simpler ways. A pause. Could I see the first set of papers again? Of course. McAdams handed him the pages. Okay. Gold looked at the maths side by side. Two different things going on here. She's using transform, and in light of what you told me, the calculations probability are related to the stock market. Eli's doing integration that involves eigenvectors. You know what an eigenvector is? Decker says something where a part represents a whole. No, that's more like fractals. You can start at the beginning, Decker said. Math wasn't my strong suit. Math is one of those things that you either love or hate. No one feels neutral about it. Anyway, a vector is a simple line with direction. It's marked by a starting point on one end and an arrow on the end representing infinity. When you stretch a vector in space, it warps. Most vectors will change directions. An eigenvector is a specialized subset of vectors. When you stretch an eigenvector, the direction remains the same no matter how you stretch it. It's an important concept that is used in a variety of applied sciences. In engineering, for instance, if you apply an outside force into a building like a wind shear, you want to know how it will affect the stability of the components, the steel, the cement, the wood, the bolts and nuts. Eigenvectors will move in the same direction. The amount of strength they move by is a multiple of a scalar, which is nothing more than a number. The number is called an eigenvalue. This is probably way more than you need to know. McAdams said, actually, your explanation is almost identical to what Rena told us. You were a math major in college? Gold asked her. I got as far as linear algebra, Rena said. I had a baby at home and then another on the way, so college was a lot for me to take on. Then we moved to Israel. You lived in Israel? Gold asked Decker. That was with her first husband, Isaac. He passed when we were both very young. Rena's eyes watered. She hit Decker's shoulder. Then his bum came around. Then this bum came around. Poor you, Decker smiled. You know, Rena, Tyler's right. You're a very good teacher. Gold said, maybe you should think about finishing your BA. We're open to applications. Now there's a thought. She turned to Decker. What do you think? Go for it. Right. I'm serious. If not now, when? To quote Hillel. McAdams cleared his throat. I do have a study group to catch. So can we get back to the case? To Gold. You were saying that Eli's papers are different from Belford's papers, related but not the same thing. McAdams handed Gold a final set of papers. These are also from Elijah Wolfe. We found them hidden beside a drawer in the dorm room. Okay. Gold gave them once through. These equations seem to be more related to Dr. Belford's papers. These are Fourier transforms. They are different calculations from the ones pulled from Belford, but it's the same methodology. Okay, Decker said. So the papers that Elijah asked his brother to hide are dealing with something different from the first and third set. I can't tell you positively without knowing the context. Gold told him, all I'm saying is that the calculation in the first and the third set are dealing with Fourier transforms, and the second set is Fourier analysis and eigenvectors, and I don't know what the maths was being used for. Got it, Decker said. There's nothing unusual about the math in the second set of papers that deal with eigenvectors. Nope, of course. Elijah, could have been using the maths to solve a revolutionary problem, but the maths is simple. Thanks, Decker said. That was helpful. Great. Gold looked at his watch. That took all of 20 minutes. Lunch? I got some kosher sandwiches. If you don't have time, you can pack them up and take them with you. Decker looked at Rena, who said, I'm in no hurry. Gold clapped his hand. Great. I'll have my secretary bring them out. Yeah, we can really catch up. I'm curious about the Belfort case. You and me both, McAdams said. Unfortunately, there's a study group due to convene in about half an hour. Good man, Decker said. Can I talk to you in private for a moment? Decker tried to read this kid's face. He was stoic. Sure. The two men got up and went outside into the hallway. McAdams said, can we strike a deal? If I spend the next couple of hours deep in law books, can I please come back with you? Tyler, don't make me beg, boss. And here I thought you pulled me aside to lay some insights on me after our meeting with Gold. I have a couple of those as well. I'm listening. How about we save them for the ride back? McAdams smiled. Please let me sleep without the sound of inebriated students banging into walls or throwing up. As I said, my walls are very thin, please. Decker rolled his eyes. You better fucking pass. I know what's at stake. I promise you I'll pass. Decker shook his head and headed back into Gold's office. McAdams grinned at as he shouted, I'll take that as a yes. With his head swimming in facts and case history, McAdams cornered the building and collided with Malin Mueller. She was wrapped in a knee-length wool coat, a scarf around her neck, a ski hat on her head, gloves on her hands, and combat boots on her feet. Her big blue eyes were cast downwards. Malin, he said, what are you doing here? I heard you went to Boston. I was wondering if I could stay with you. I thought you were staying with Damador. I was, but I don't really trust him. I think he may be part of the problem. Can I? Can you what? Can I stay with you? No, Malin, you can't stay with me. First of all, I'm not staying here. I'm going back to Greenberry. Why? Because I'm working on a case with Detective Decker. Tyler, I'm scared to be alone, and I'm scared to be with Damador. I don't know who to trust except I trust you. Thank you for your confidence in me, but that doesn't mean we can be roomies. It's just temporary. No, you may not move in with me. McAdams shuffled his feet. Look, I'm meeting up with the Deckers, and the three of us are going home together. How about if we talk when we're back in Greenberry, okay? If you're going back, can I hitch a ride back with you? Oh, God. Please, 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 please. Stop, stop, he exhaled. I'll ask them, come on. He fast walked ahead of her, but she caught up. This is a very big campus. It's a university, not a college. All you juniors just walk around. You must feel very special. Don't you start on me. I get enough crap from Greenberry Police. I feel special. Fine, you can take my special. It's never done me any good. She suddenly brightened. You know, I could sleep in Decker's car. Absolutely not. For one thing, you freeze to death. They don't garage it? It's out of the question. How about the police station? I'll bring my own bedding. No. Could you slow down? McAdams complied. Look, Mellon, I know you're freaked out. I understand completely. I was really antsy after I was shot. It's a real violation. But you have to make some workable arrangements for your living quarters. If you don't trust Damador, find someone else. Fine, fine, I'll stay with Damador. I suppose I'll be okay since you'll be there into town, I mean. I'll be there for a week. But I really have to come back here and take my finals, and you can't bunk down in my apartment. It's too small and it's totally unprofessional. No, no, no. You don't have to be so rude about it. McAdams stopped and held her bundled shoulders. Look, Mellon, you're a very smart girl, and maybe once you graduate from Needloff and the case is all done and resolved and it isn't 10 below outside, we can go out for a nice dinner, at least a dinner other than Indian buffet. But now, not now, okay? Now is not the right time for either of us. Got it? A big smile graced her lips. You want to take me out for dinner? McAdams slapped his throat. Let's get going before Peter decides to leave without me. He wouldn't do that. Rena wouldn't, but Dicker would, with a cherry on top.